This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everybody. I'm telling you what, I mean, today was just like the longest day I have had. I mean, days normally fly by for me, but I kept looking at the clock. I could not wait. It seems like I get excited when it's team chat night, and I just was so excited about our guest speaker and hanging out with all of you guys. So, hey,
Oh,
happy day to everybody. So, welcome. That's number one. And you know how we start these meetings. Share your good news. So, who has some good news to share with us?
I do, Linda.
Okay, Catherine, let's go.
I did a yard sale Saturday and picked up 4 new customers.
Yay!
Yay!
Congratulations
Awesome.
on that. That is good news. Okay, who else?
So I have some good news. I
Yeah.
I made it to Premiere just a couple of days ago,
Oh, that's
Yay!
wonderful.
and
Yay!
then in just the last 2 days, I picked up 3 new customers. So that was really good.
And how did
Great.
you pick up the customers?
Well, believe it or not, I've been leaving a catalog in a plastic bag, at a over a 55 plus community in their on their bulletin board. And just out of the blue today, I got a phone call and said, "Oh, we've got a campaign 9 catalog. Can we order this?" I went, "No, but let me get you campaign 11 and let's see what we could do." And it was, over a $50 order. So I was really pleased that I've been diligent every week, every campaign, putting up a new catalog, and it started to show. And then the other lady last night came over to my house and said, "Oh, I know that you're an Avon lady, and I've got a birthday party. Can you help me with some gift ideas?" And I went, "Here's my supply. Just choose what you want." And
Awesome.
that was $100 order, so it was pretty good. So I was
Wow,
happy
Wow.
about that.
that is good news. Yay!
Yeah,
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing.
you're
Okay, who else
welcome.
has some good news? Okay. Well, my good news is we have a guest speaker tonight, and I have got to tell you, I am so excited to be introducing Alice to all of you. You are in for a really great treat tonight. Now, if you look at the screen, you would probably think Alice and I have been friends for a really long time. But we always talk about our business being connections and relationships and how we are all one big happy Avon family. And it is so true. On the kickoff, there was a group for all the representatives that were attending the kickoff, and a representative put in there that she was landing at the airport if anybody wanted to share a ride to the hotel, that she was getting into the airport at this particular time. Now, it also brings home another point that we just don't always assume, oh, this will not work, because this representative, her name was Faye, she was getting to the airport, or her plane was arriving like an hour before I was going to get there. So, when you're going to these events, a lot of times you're just wanting to get there to the event, but she had put out there when her flight was landing, and all I came back with is, oh, Faye, my flight's getting in at this time. And she says, oh my goodness, I'll wait. We can ride together and share a ride. Well, then when I got to the airport, Alice had also connected with Faye. They have been long-term friends. And so the three of us were able to, in this picture here, you see us, going to the kickoff hotel. But since then, we also was able to connect in Hawaii, and we were able to just lounge at the pool, have some great conversations, and she's just you're just in for such a treat because she knows her stuff. She earned Hawaii, and if anybody can help give inspiration, it's going to be Alice. So a little bit about Alice. She's one of 9 children. Alice, that's amazing. She's married to Tom. We all got to see him for a brief second. Thank you, Tom, for helping. And she has 2 sons, ages 24 and 34. Now, her youngest son, Alex, also has special needs. Alice taught middle school for 32 years, and sometimes they say teachers make like the best leaders because they have a gift of teaching, and Alice definitely does have that gift. So 2 years before retiring from teaching, she started selling Avon. And Alice has been a representative for 11 years, is a Rose Circle member, and a gold leader. Now, I also put a link there, and I know we've talked on past team chats about, have you done your video yet for your online store? Here is the link for Alice's video for her online store, where she shares a little bit about herself so that other people can get to know her and possibly choose her to be her Avon representative, or for her to be their Avon representative if somebody's looking for an Avon representative. So I encourage all of you to do that. And by all means, click on that YouTube link there and watch Alice's story to learn more about Alice as well. So Alice is so organized, so put together that she actually has done most of these slides here. So I am going to, without further ado, turn it over, because you guys get to hear from me all the time. I want you to be able to hear from Alice. And so Alice, whenever you're wanting me to turn the slide, just say next, and I'll go on to the next slide. So welcome, Alice. Let's all welcome her. Yay!
Thank you. Well, hello, everybody. I'm just so grateful to be here. And I want to start tonight with a little story for you. So when I was teaching, I taught 7th grade health. And one time I was teaching about strokes. And I was talking about, the symptoms, what are the symptoms of a stroke, and what happens when you have a stroke. And so I used an example. My grandmother, just 3 weeks prior to my teaching that, had suffered a stroke. And I was sharing with them that when my mom went into the hospital the next morning to see her, and the nurse was in the room when my mom walked in, and the nurse said, "Oh, she's not really making much sense. She's just talking gibberish this morning." And so my mom walked over to the side of the bed and said, "Mother, how are you feeling today?" And my grandmother looked right at her and in German said, "It's cold in here." So my mom looked over at the nurse and said, "Well, she's not speaking gibberish. She's speaking German, and she said it's cold in here." Now, I'm telling this to the class, and there's this one, they're 12 years old, and and they're all just listening intently. And the one guy right in the front, I can tell he has a question. His eyes are really big, and I just kind of nod like, yes. And he says, "She learned German?" He thought by having a stroke, she learned German. Now, that's not the message that, of course, I wanted them to learn. But I love that story because it speaks so well to, sometimes we think we're giving a good message, but not everybody hears it the way we intend it. And I want to share with you today some thoughts about how to earn money with Avon. They're not something that you likely have never heard of, but maybe tonight you'll find out, you'll have a different reaction to it, and the message will come more clear to you about why some of these things work. Okay, so that's what I want to talk about. When we start Avon, we all want to earn money. Now, what we want to do with that money varies greatly. That's the why. Why did we start? Do we have an extra bill we want to pay? Do we have a car payment? Do we have, Is rent too high? Do we want spending money? Do we want to pay our kids' sports fee? Whatever it is, we all have different reasons why we joined Avon. But basically, we joined because we want to earn money. So I want to share with you today some strategies of how to earn money by selling Avon. And there's several ways of doing that. So first slide. Okay, I hope that you guys can read that. It's small on my end, so I'm going to look down at my paper so I can read it. Okay, is that small for everybody, or Linda, am I just not seeing your big screen?
Well, I'm on a computer screen, so I'm seeing it big. Can everybody see it? Okay, Lori said
they are too. For some reason, yeah, the go-to just isn't working for me, but that's okay. So I'm going to talk with you about widening your circle. That means, you know, we all have our circle of our customers, but how do we make that bigger so we get more customers, which means more earning? So I'm going to talk about how to find more customers with the Avon brochure, without the Avon brochure, doing it online and in person, and then I'm going to talk about the Jog Your Memory handout. And then I'm also going to talk about how do you stay in contact with your customers? How do you increase sales with your existing customers? How often are you talking with them? Are you sharing the brochure and or the link? Do you tell them about products? Do you cross-sell? And are you providing excellent customer service? I'm going to talk about each of these points in a little bit of detail. Okay? So the next one then is we want to widen our circle. Well, how do we do that? By using the Avon brochure. You likely already know, if you've been selling for a while, we order brochures 2 campaigns in advance. Now, doing that gives us time to look through the brochure and help plan for our strategies for selling the products in that book. The first couple pages of the book are always what we're highlighting that campaign, and they're often new products. It also gives us time, by getting those books 2 campaigns in advance, gives us time to label the books and to schedule our time to pass those books out at the beginning of the campaign. Now, scheduling time. I just listened to a podcast this morning that talked about successful entrepreneurs. And the basic message this person gave was successful people use their time well. They don't waste their time. And in order to use your time well, you have to plan your time and you plan your activity with that time. So what do you do with those brochures once you get them labeled? And by the way, for labels, I was going to put this in the slideshow and I didn't think of it until afterwards, but can you see that? I put a label on the back. I have the QR code, wrong side, there we go. And I've just got basic information about if they want to order from me, if they want to order online. The other thing that I've done, and I think this is really important, is I do a label on the front, and I put it both in English and Spanish because we have a high population here, and it says, earn money now. And then it has my Avon website. And I have that in English and Spanish. So if someone sees this book laying there and let's say they're at the tire place, Les Schwab, and they're just being told they've got a $450 bill. And they don't know how they're going to make up that money because rent's due in 2 weeks, and they don't know. And they see my book lying there. Now, if I don't have this on the front, they look at it and they think, what? I can't afford to buy an Avon right now. But maybe they'll see my label that says earn money now. and that will draw them to my book. Now, they don't know yet if they want to sell Avon, but that earned money is getting their attention. Hopefully, they will call me or look at my site, and then I can further give them more information. So here's what I recommend you do with the books, because we're talking about how to find customers using your Avon books. First of all, I place a current Avon book in every delivery order. Because if they ordered from me and I'm delivering their order or they're coming to me to pick it up, I already know they're a customer. I want to keep them. And they don't know what's in the next book. Much of the same stuff, but they don't know. I'm still surprised sometimes. I page through an Avon book and I see something that's like, wait, when did we start selling that? And I think I keep up on it. So certainly our customers don't know our products as well as we do. So put those in orders. Hand your brochures out. Now, personally, hand them to people that are a possible yes. We've heard, hand them out at the grocery store, hand them out at the bank teller, give your nail technician a book, give your hair technician a book. Well, that's really easy to say, but what does that look like? So let me give you an example. When I'm at the grocery store, cashier, I hand her my money or my card, whatever I'm doing, and I just say, and I have an Avon book for you to browse during your break. I don't say, do you want it? And usually they say, oh, thanks. And then I throw in, and if you would be kind enough when you're done looking at it, would you please just take this to your lounge so others can look at it too? I have never been told no from a cashier when I approach it that way. Nail salons, well, during COVID, I was not able to leave my books out because when COVID first came out, we really did not know how it passed from person to person. So magazines and doctors' offices and businesses just went down to nil. Now I'm starting to get them back out. And I walk into a business. Now, usually it's one that I do services with. But there are times when I leave them at other businesses too. But for example, the nail salon that I go to, they have a box that says free Avon brochures, please take one. And every 2 weeks I'm in there and I fill it up again. I get customers from them. Okay, people that are sitting there having their nails done, sometimes they need to page through some. If they're having a pedicure, their hands are free. They don't want to just sit there, so they'll look through a book or they'll take one with you. I even have a cute little sign on it that says, take one to your mom. Because most of us have moms that want an Avon book. So we just remind them, you might not want it, but maybe your mom does. So leave them at businesses. And asking them to put it in the office or the lunchroom for other employees to appreciate, usually you will get yeses. When I go through a drive-through, I hand them one. And I say, this is for you. Thanks for being so kind. You know, it doesn't matter to me if it's a male or a female that's there. We sell men's products. We have to not be insecure about giving these books to men because we have products that we want men to use. And if it's only an 18-year-old, 17-year-old that's working after school, well, let's get them started early on the Avon products. And likely they have a family member that also wants to look at the book. So I'll hand it to the person that I give my payment to, and then I'll hand it to the person that hands me the bag. Always have extra books in your car. And Carolyn, I think it was you that mentioned earlier about, they had an older book. It doesn't matter. Many of our products stay the same month after month after month. And we can probably order it for the same price. Mm-hmm. There may be a little different. It may be back stock. We might be able to say, hey, that's not available right now, but I can get you this, and then talk about the product a little bit. There is no reason not to hand out an older book. Now, I don't hand books out that are more than a few months old because I hand out too many books to have them around for that long. But I also have labels that will say, this is a sample book. For a free sample and a new Avon book, contact me. They can still look through it and see what's available. And, you know, much of the stuff we sell, the Skin So Soft, the makeup stuff, that's going to be around in every campaign anyway. Then leave a few brochures in your businesses and make sure that you go back every 2 weeks so that you're filling up that container again. Now, I go to Goodwill, and I buy containers for $1 or under. My favorite thing to use are old recipe boxes, and I just take the top off of them because they fit in those perfectly, and you can stand like 8 or 10 of them up there. So it doesn't need to cost a lot of money. Find a container at home. I prefer that they're not bent because I'm kind of anal, and when I get a book, I want it nice and flat and crisp, the pages crisp to look at, and some of your customers are going to be like that too. Neighborhood drop. My son hands out 100 books for me every 2 weeks. Now, I put them in the bag that hangs on the door. Now, I do that for 2 reasons. One is I live in Oregon. It's often wet here. Nobody wants to look at a book that's been wet or rained on. Secondly, and most importantly, when someone walks to their door, I want them to have that first visceral feeling of Avon to be positive. Oh, an Avon book. If I walk toward my front door and there's something laying on the ground, I'm automatically annoyed that I have to bend over and pick it up. That's not the first impression I want someone to have with my Avon book. Now, you're not going to make everybody happy with Avon books. I still get calls from, you know, I'll call him a gentleman loosely. He'll call and say, if you ever leave a book on my front door again, I'm calling the police. This is, you know, what I go, please. You know, my son never goes in the same place twice. We live in a very populated area. So if I get that call, I don't ever have to worry about that he's going back to the same place. And of course, the police aren't going to do anything anyway. You do not want to leave them at homes that say no soliciting. Although, by the way, I have a lot of customers. I myself have that sign on my front door. Doesn't mean I don't want an Avon book dropped off. It means I don't want somebody knocking on my door to sell something. And then mail your brochures to customers. I have a lot of customers all around the United States because I do social networking, and so I pick up people from around, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So I can't just hand them a book with their order because they order online. Now, they can get a book when they order online, but I want to make sure if they have an order for a couple of campaigns that they get a book from me so that they keep Avon and me in mind. And so I mail my brochures. Now, I use a company called Campaign Mailer. It works great. It costs, I don't know, $1 a book to mail, but they also buy the book. So, and it's dependent on how many books you mail out and stuff. I have done the bulk mailing where you prepare your books and you take them into your local, well, sometimes it's not the post office, it's a special bulk mailing post office. You have to mail at least 200. I try not to mail quite that many at a time because it gets very expensive to mail books. And I like that Campaign Mailer buys the books and labels them for me. So that's what I do. So those are ideas for when you have an Avon book, how to pick up some extra customers. Well, next slide talks about, well, what if you don't have access to Avon books? You know, it takes money to make money, and we always talk about reinvesting in your business. But when you are first starting out, you may not have extra money to invest in those Avon books, and that is a reality. We can find customers using Avon books, but truthfully, we can also find customers without using the Avon book. And so I want to share some ways of doing that. So the first one is, Avon removed the ability to send the link for the online brochure. And they have heard from enough reps that we want access to this, that they have indicated they're going to bring that back for us. There is no date yet set. So I want to share with you, if you have customers that really like going page by page, you can use something called Hazine, H-E-Y-Z-I-N-E. Lindy, do you use Hazine?
I have sent out information. My account executive had shared that, the representative had shared how to do it. But yes, it's wonderful.
Right. It's for something that does such a fabulous job, it should be much more difficult to figure out how to use than it is. I'm not real computer savvy, but I think I figured it out in 5 minutes. It's really easy to do. And you can go page by page of the Avon book. So I put that, I download every Avon book right now, and I put it on my blog, and then I send the link out in a text every week to all my customers. So they can click on that link, and then they can look at the book page by page if that's what they want to do. It gives them that option. I prefer that Avon just comes out with the book, so all I have to do is copy the link and send it. But until then, I have found a way around it because many of my customers do want to look at the book. And here's why that's important. We do have the online, what do we call it, the digital brochure, okay? And you can make it personalized, and it's kind of cool. But it's not a page-by-page brochure. And that's how we get extra orders, is when people go page by page and they mark up the book and they say, ooh, I want that. And then they keep going and, ooh, I want that. When we don't look at the catalog page by page, we only buy what we think we want. And we need to do that, but we also need our customers doing spontaneous buying. Sharing product information. I know there's this rule of 80-20. 80% of the time you're on social media should be personal kinds of stuff. 20% should be about your business. I think more of us probably have it backwards. We share less about ourselves and more about our product. But whatever you do share about your product with your social media accounts, because people watch and they learn about a product. And so instead of just shouting out, Skin So Soft's here, Bug Guard's here, talk about why they want to know that Bug Guard's here. What does it do that they can't get at the store? What guarantees do we have? All the products. There are many reps that do local city groups. They advertise on Marketplace or in the classified. Now, personally, I choose not to do that. I don't work full-time Avon. I've already done my full-time job for 32 years, and then I did Avon full-time for about 8 years. In the last 3 years, I've gone down to part-time and even more and more part-time. Still working my business, I have become very efficient that when I sit down in front of my computer, I have my tasks and I have to get them done. But those places are out there, and reps do very well, both signing up new reps to grow their team and in sales by going to those marketplaces and the classifieds and those local city groups. So do that if you have the time to do it. And if you don't have the time, schedule the time, because you really can increase your sales by joining those groups or like groups. And then ask for referrals. Ask your customers for referrals. Ask non-Avon customers for referrals. I have people that say, no, I don't really want any Avon, but do you know someone that might like an Avon book? Oh yeah, my mom's always talking about Avon. Yeah, I was just downtown the other day and met somebody and, whatever. We don't know people's circumstances. So ask. I will tell you that I was always thought that, when I first started selling Avon and I was building my team, I hesitated to ask professional women if they wanted to sell Avon because I knew they were busy. But the truth is, busy people make good Avon reps because we know what to do and how to prioritize and how to get things done. Now, I was older when I started selling Avon. No one had, I just lost my earring. No one had ever asked me if I was interested in selling Avon. I had always only bought Avon my whole life. I'd never even thought about selling Avon until my aunt quit selling after 30 years. She turned 80 and said, I'm done with Avon now. And I went 3 years without an Avon book. And I went through withdrawal. I missed that Avon. And finally I told my husband, my husband said to me, well, why don't you just buy your own lipstick? And I said, I can't. I can't go to the store and buy it. It's Avon lipstick that I love. He said, so buy Avon lipstick. You can just sign up and buy your own lipstick. Who knew that I would be successful selling my own lipstick? So ask, because until someone tells you no, we don't know what they're thinking. And if they tell you no, it's not a personal no to you. It's a no, I don't really want to sell Avon, and that's okay. Or no, I don't want to buy Avon. Okay, ask people, ask your customers, ask people for referrals. Do you know someone that could use some extra money? That's how I did it with my son. When Avon had a contest and we needed to sign up, I don't know, I think I did 12 people. You had to do 10 in a certain period of time, last year or the year before. And I asked my son, Zach, who do you know that might sell Avon? He's like, I don't know anybody. And I was like, man, you've got lots of friends. How can you not know anybody? And finally I realized, you know what? Change the wording. Zach, which of your friends do you know need money to pay their rent? Oh, yeah, about they can't pay their rent. And I said, that's who I want to talk to. And I ended up signing up some of them. Okay, so it's all in the wording. It's about finding people that want to make a little extra money. And then wear your brand. Wear an Avon name tag. I always have one on when I'm selling. Lots of Avon people wear it every day. Wear clothing. Wear jewelry that's Avon. Wear their makeup. Use their fragrance. I have actually sold a watch from my wrist, and I've sold a number of different rings because I was wearing them. But the watch, I actually had somebody buy right then and there from me because she was wearing a purple outfit the next day, and it was a purple watch. The only reason I sold it to her is because I knew I could still get it. I knew it was still in stock. Otherwise, I might not have sold it to her because I really liked it. But she bought it right off my wrist to wear. If I wasn't wearing it, I wouldn't have made that sale. Jewelry, I have sold 3 of these rings, and it's because I wear it. Oh my gosh, this ring is so gorgeous. Okay. It's Avon. These are Avon. And I said, you too can have jewelry that will last for years with Avon, and then I give them an Avon book. Okay, moving on.
Okay, and Alice, my goodness, I hope everybody's, give me a nod if you guys are really enjoying all the information she's sharing. Alice, I mean, thank you so very much. I'm learning so much. But I'll also add on, when Alice was talking about like sharing on social media, like in these classified groups and that, be sure you go to our business policies and procedures, and they have it spelled out there exactly what we can and what we can't do with advertising. So just make sure that you review that. And then if you have questions, call customer care saying, hey, I read this in the policy. This is my question. So you can get clarification so that you are in compliance with the policy. But thank you so much. And let's move on.
Well, and I'm glad you said that, Linda, and that does bring up one other point that I overlooked in mentioning about that. So, you know, when you are in light groups, let's say that you really like gardening, so you are in a garden group, you don't want to share everything about Avon in that group. However, at some point, someone's going to say, guys, working in the yard yesterday and those nasty mosquitoes were all over me. That's your time to say, have you tried Avon Bug Guard? Because that stuff works. That's the time. So it's not even that you're always advertising. It's you look for those opportune moments. Now, I belong to several makeup groups. And every once in a while, somebody will say, what do you use for large pores on your nose? Okay? That's the time when I can jump in. And they won't let me post a picture of the product and my Avon site, but I can tell about the product and then say PM me. Okay, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. So you get around, make sure that you do know what the policies and procedures say, because you do want to be in compliance. But there are groups where you can get around that because they've asked a question. Okay.
And the fact that they know who you are, and then when somebody says, does anybody know an Avon representative? People will be saying, oh my gosh, Alice in this group, she's an Avon representative. So again, that can, message her, or they'll share your link with people.
Yes. Well, this has been a couple of months ago, but I went through a taco place locally, and I was giving out a cute little bag with a free lip balm in it and my business card. And when I went to the window, I said, how many of you are working today? And she said, like 4. So I handed her 4, and I said, thank you for working. Because, I got all those free lip balms. I got to do something with them. And a week later, the owner called me and said, I just had a meeting with my employees, and I happened to say, does anybody know an Avon lady? And all of them said, we do. And they all had my lip balm with my information on it, and she is now a customer of mine. So the gals I gave the lip balm to weren't a customer, but the owner of the drive-thru is now a customer. So you never know who you're going to reach by being friendly. And, gosh, Avon gave us all those lip balms. I still have probably 600 of them left to pass out. I've passed out thousands. Okay. How to find your customers by using Jog Your Memory handout. Now, Avon uses a little different one right now, but it's basically the same thing. So you don't have to be a new rep to do this. Every one of you can do this now. Take out a piece of paper and write the numbers 1 to 50. Now you know your social set. For some of you, 25 might be pushing as max as you can go yourself. You know yourself. I say 50. If you know that would completely overwhelm you, do 25, do 15. Challenge yourself, but do what you need to do. And what you do is you write down the names of everyone you know that might consider buying Avon from you. Don't not put a name down there because you aren't sure. You don't know. You haven't asked them. And have males and females on that list. Start with your family. Your codgy old brother. Well, why can't he buy your Avon dish soap from you? Okay? Maybe he doesn't wear cologne, but he certainly wears deodorant. Why not buy from you? If we can't get our families to buy from us and help us in our small business, You know, we need to be able to. And then move on to your friends list. Now, some of you say, I don't have very many friends. You don't have to. Put down the friends that you have. It doesn't, even your friends, you don't know if they're going to buy Avon from you or not. But we all need cleaning supplies. And then move on to your neighbors. And then move on beyond that. So when you've exhausted your list, then you look at the jog your memory handout, and it gives you ideas of where to consider new people. You're laughing. Is he giving a dance for you?
No. Come say hello. Somebody wants to say hi to you, Alice.
Okay.
Yep, somebody's wanting to say hi to you.
Hey, Mr. Handsome, how you doing? Nice to see you. Hi.
Nobody else.
I'm taking longer. I'm taking longer than the 15 minutes she gave me, but
That's okay.
I do have the gift of gab. Huh?
Stage right.
He's so cute. Okay. Anyway, if you continue this activity like every few months, you should end up with a name of 200 people on your list. Okay, my list today would look very different than when I first started. It's a good activity for us to do at least every 6 months or once a year and see if we do add people to our social circles. We want to make sure we've added them. Look through the contacts in your phone. Why not? When I was doing this the last time, I saw my dentist's office. And it was like, well, I always leave one at the front desk for them. And then one of the gals came and asked me for bug guard because they were going camping when I went to have my teeth cleaned. And then I got all those free Avon lip balms. So the next time I was in, I took one of the lip balms and I said, how about if I bring you 100 of these and you put them in the next 100 little bags that you give the toothpaste and the toothbrush with, and you can just throw that in for your customers too. And they did it. It was 100 new opportunities for me to find some new people. So always be thinking of what can you do to get your name out for others. Anyway, then you contact each person on your list. You invite them to be a customer of yours or even a team member. You don't know what they're thinking. And sometimes, and I've been guilty of this, sometimes I will look at someone and I think, oh, they're probably too old to sell Avon. That is such the wrong approach to take. Now, maybe they don't want to sell Avon, but maybe they have a granddaughter that they know is struggling financially and would love to make some extra money. So again, always asking, not only would they like it, but ask for a referral, because maybe they just have a granddaughter or a daughter or a son that needs to make some extra money, seriously. Okay, next one. So I kind of mentioned this before about utilizing your time very effectively. Use your calendar to plan. The more dedicated and consistent you are with your planning and your follow through, the more successful you're going to become with your Avon business. Use your calendar to plan. And I said it before, pull out your calendar, put your schedule on it for kids, family, work, whatever you've got, and then look at it and say, okay, what time blocks do I have to work Avon? And when you've scheduled in that hour here, that 2 hours there, the half hour then stop and think, now what tasks do I need to get done? I have an hour on this day, so that's time for me to plan my social media posts and to use Canva and design something and call 3 customers. I have a half-hour block of time. I'm going to do 2 or 3 Avon U trainings. And then I have a 2-hour block of time. I'm going to get my books labeled. I'm going to, whatever it is. Make your list of what needs to be done and schedule it into your planner, because then we get it done if we look at our planner. Okay, next one. So contacting your customers. This is really important. We've got the customer. Now that we have them, what do? Do we just hope that they buy from us sometime? Our customers deserve good service, and we need to provide them good service, because there are a lot of Avon reps out there. And if they don't like us as their Avon rep, they're going to go find someone else. So we want to build loyalty with our customers. So, how do we do that? So first of all, for your current customers, how often do you talk with them? And have you asked them what their preferred method of contact is? Truly, I have customers that only want to use email. I have customers that only want to talk on the phone. And I have customers that just prefer to do texting because it's fast. But those that want to do texting don't really want to do email, and they don't always have time to talk on the phone. So listen to your customers and find out what their preference is. And then, are you sharing the brochure or the link with them every campaign? Are you personalizing your interactions with them? And what I mean by that is, hey, Mary, you bought the mascara last time that you ordered. How is that working for you? Do you really like it? Or you had trouble getting it off? Well, did you know we have makeup remover that will help that? Okay. Ask them about the products that they're already purchasing from you so that they want to keep buying those products. And then, is there anything else I could help you with? Well, now that we're talking, I've noticed that my skin's a little dry. Are you talking your facial skin or your body? Well, kind of all of it. Okay, well, let's break it down. And then you talk about the different products. And by the way, you don't have to be an expert on every product Avon sells. Now, when you've sold as long as I have, you learn about the products just over time because you have customers that use them. And if you're interacting with your customers, you're asking them about the product and the pros and cons of it because you want to know. But if you're just starting, find a product or two that you want to try and use it and learn about it and become the expert on that product. I sell a whole lot of a new Ultimate day cream and night cream. And the reason I sell a lot of it is because I'm so passionate about it. It's the first thing I talk about when I talk about Avon with anybody. And my skin looks good. I'm 64 years old. My skin looks good for 64. Does it mean I look like I'm 20? No, not anymore. Okay? It doesn't, and I'm never going to look that. But that saying of, you see people that are your age and they look so old. Truthfully, I do see people my age and I think they look older because they show more signs of aging than I do. And, we sell what we're passionate about. So find a product to be passionate about. And when you've got that passion down, move on to a new product. Now, I tend to buy most of the new products that come out because I want to try them. Avon's got good stuff. And I want to try them so that, first of all, I know how well it works. I have my favorites. I have some that I'm not real sold on. But if a customer asks me, I tell them up front. Now, I don't like to badmouth any Avon product. But if it's not been my favorite, I will tell them the pros and cons, and I'll give them a couple of options. And I find out not only by using it, but by asking my customers questions. And then the digital brochure, as I mentioned before, you can personalize this for your customers. And likely I should do more of that than I do. It's just when you work part-time, you have to limit some of what you do. Okay, the next one. So when you contact your customers, Are you telling them about the products? Are you sharing samples with them? And I'm going to give you an example here. When Avon came out with the Fresh Fiji, the laundry detergent sheet, I thought, I don't think those are going to work very well, but I'm going to try them. So I bought a box and threw it in the wash, and it's like, wow, I really like this. So I went to the dollar store and bought a box of just little Ziploc bags. And then I went to the product page on Avon U, and I printed out, I put up I did a half sheet because there was too much information on the product information to do it 4 to a page. So printed out, let's see, there's 30 sheets in a box, which means I did 60 half sheets, okay? Which is about 25 cents a sheet. So it was about a quarter for each sample that I gave. And I put the product sheet and the product sheet in the Ziploc baggie when I handed out my orders. The first time I did that, I had 2 people buy from me. That already paid for my sample. And of course, they become regular users, and when they run out, they rebuy. And then, I've done that a couple of times. I like that product well enough, and it was so easy to use as a sample. If you want to use liquid samples, I've had people buy the dish soap from me because I went on Amazon, bought little bottles that seal, and then made my own label and put it in a baggie, again, with a quarter sheet of what it is and what it's for. I can't tell you how many basil or the lemon scent, the citrus scent of the dishwashing soap I have sold, and it's because they tried it. And a big bottle fills a whole lot of little containers because they don't need more than one, than a little bit to use for one sink of dishes. And that stuff smells so good. Plus, it works really good too. So share samples with your customers. You don't have to spend a lot of money on samples. Are you teaching customers about the Avon products? We sell more when we have personal knowledge about the product because we just talk about it more passionately and more easily when we actually know about the product. And that comes from using the product. Are you asking customers for their experience with the product? Ask them the pros and cons. Really, your customers can give you invaluable information about a product. They can give you a good testimony. And, I've made posts before using my customers with some of what they say. And in fact, I encourage them when they're really passionate about something to go online and leave a review for that product as well. And then how often are you using Avon products? When we use the product and we love the product, that's when we sell more of the product. So for example, in campaigns 12, 13, and 14, if you are one of those top 2,000 Avon reps that are selling makeup, the makeup sales, if you're in the top 2,000 in makeup sales, you're going to earn that beautiful pink Avon travel bag. Okay? Maybe you're not a huge makeup seller now. In campaign 11, order different things of makeup and make it your goal. Do some posts and some videos. And if you're not comfortable making a video, then just do some snapshots of before and after and show people what the makeup is doing for you and start selling that makeup because I would like for you to earn one of those makeup bags. It's so cool. Okay, next page. Contacting your customers. How do you increase your sales when you talk with them? When a customer asks you to purchase a product, just a lipstick, for example, anytime a customer asks me to buy that they want a lipstick, I remind them our glimmer lip liners are really nice to prevent the feathering or the bleeding. I try to throw one in. Now, those are only $3.99. It's not a big sale. That's okay. I'm still making, I'm still increasing their order. If they buy clothing from me, I usually suggest, hey, did you see the jewelry that could go really nicely with that, or the pair of shoes, or the, try to sell them something else. If they order makeup, have you used their makeup remover? Have you used, if they wanted to buy the Tipsy, have they used the, I forget what it's called now, the oil that goes with it that makes it shiny and really burst? Thank you. Yes, I took mine to the beach last weekend and it's still there, so I didn't have it with me. But just showing them what it can do, that's so amazing. If they order moisturizer, talk with them about the benefits of using an eye cream or a serum, or making sure they buy both the day and the night cream and be able to explain the difference between the two. You really can teach your customers about the products, but you have to use it yourself or you have to know it yourself. Okay, next page. We're coming to a close. Contacting your customers. How does your customer service compare to another local Avon rep? What makes your Avon customer want you to be their one and only Avon lady? It's important that you return calls within 24 hours. I want you to think the last time you left a message for someone for a service. How long did you give them until you were waiting for them to call you back? An hour? Did you think maybe they'd call in 2? Were you hoping they'd call you before the end of the day? I do that. If I call for service somewhere, I'm expecting them to get back to me. Make sure you get back to them while they have Avon fresh on their mind. And accept texting and voicemail and email if you can. And by the way, make sure your voicemail is not full. I get frustrated when I call and I want to at least leave a voicemail and I'm told voicemail's full. If I did that, I probably wouldn't call the Avon person back again. Make sure that you are answering your messages and develop a relationship with your customers. I have to tell you a funny story. Last summer, I was working at our county fair, so I had a booth. And this gal came by and was just chatting about Avon and saying, oh, I just love Avon. I said, well, here, why don't you take a book? And she says, oh, yeah, I haven't seen that one. Okay, I'll take it. And I said, well, my information's on the back. My name is Alice. And she goes, oh, no, before I even got to say my name was Alice, I said, my name and number on the back. And she says, oh, no. I am so loyal to my Avon lady. I have the best Avon lady, and I will never buy from somebody else. And I'm thinking, wow, I need to know who her Avon lady is. And I said, I'm so happy you have good service. Who's your Avon lady? And she looks right at me and she says, Alice Chisholm. I have never met her. She has ordered from me. I have talked to her a number of times on the phone. She comes and picks up her order from my home. I don't have to be here. I have it set up where they can pick it up from on the porch. I have a lockbox. They leave the payment in. She's happy. I'm happy. I have never met her, but she's been a customer of mine for 3 years. And then we just had to laugh because here she is completely loyal to me, but we had never personally met. It was great. Okay, the last thing I want to share with you, and it's not in the slides, and I apologize, Linda, for that, but have you heard people say, the more you do it, the easier it gets? Have you heard people say that before? If you go out and talk to people, it gets easier. Whatever you're doing, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Well, I want to take a minute and explain why that is so. Because it is true. The more we do something, the better we get at it. I don't care if it's baking a cake or, making dinner or painting or, doing somersaults. The more we do it, the better we get. Well, with Avon, we often say you have to step out of your comfort zone to do some things that really will increase your communication with others. And that's really true. But here's why. So there's something called the self-confidence cycle. And it's 4 steps. We've got action, competence, self-belief, and confidence. So competence and confidence. Everything begins with taking action. We'll put that at the top of the chain. If you want more confidence, which is next, it begins with taking action. Despite your fear of being rejected, of failure, your fear of the unknown, confidence isn't about being good at something. It is not, it's about not being fearful of failing. That's confidence, all right? So when you take action, you improve your competence or you improve your skill. That's where you get, the more often you do it, you improve it. Now, when you improve, it's practice. When you improve that skill, then your self-belief starts to feel better. You're starting to believe in yourself. Hey, I can kind of do this. Then your self-belief becomes self-confidence. You know you can do it. You did it. So if you want to be good at something, you have to be willing to be bad at it first. That's what I want you to remember. We aren't good at something because we were good the first time we did it. We got good because we took the action, started to build competence, started to feel better about ourselves, kept doing the competence, kept doing the action, and then became more confident in what we were doing. So lastly, your self-belief then boosts your confidence, and your confidence motivates you to do the action again. So that's the self-confidence cycle. The action, and then helps build the competence or the skill, which helps you believe in yourself, which gives you confidence to get out there and do the action again. So, once you can do that, you're unstoppable. You just keep repeating that cycle. So now you're asking yourself, well, what action should I take? I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to think of it. What would you do for your Avon business if you had more confidence? What would you do personally for your Avon business if you had more confidence? Would you talk to more people about buying or selling Avon? There is your action. However you answered that, what would you do if you had more confidence? That's your action that you need to take. And you don't have to be good at it. In fact, you're probably going to be bad at it, maybe. Or you may not even be as bad as you think you're going to be, because really they're just conversations with people. But you have to be willing to be bad at it before you can become good at it. Now, Linda is your leader. One of her roles is to encourage and support you and to praise your actions, because it's the action that's going to get you through to the confident level. And that's what we're leaders for. We want to help you. We want to support you and encourage you so that you can start taking those actions every day and being more self-confident. So that's what I have for you tonight. I hope that you found that helpful.
Thank you. Everybody can help. Yes, thank you. Oh my goodness, Alice. Wow. Well, I think you covered everything a person needs to know about Avon to be successful. I think that was your mission, and I think you just shared that with us. So my goodness, thank you. Did everybody gain something from this tonight? What I loved, Alice, more than anything, is not only did you say, oh, this is what I think is important to know, but then you also added, this is what I did. You know, you can speak about this because it comes from personal experience of how you have grown your business. So thank you so very, 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 very much for
You're welcome. Thank you.
Now, I'm not going to, because I know we have gone over on time, and I'm very respectful. I'm very thankful you guys have all been here. I will be sending this out as a replay, but hey, Alice said to plan, so pull out that Q2 planning workbook. You see all this information that's there. Plan how you are going to grow and succeed in your business. Here is your contact list. She was talking about that, memory jogger. And if you get stuck, here is some different places that you can think of, yes, I need to leave a brochure here. Yes, I need to talk to this group, this organization. This could be helpful to my business. But take time. You'll be able to watch the recording, look at this, and figure out who you are going to be reaching out to. 100 no's. You won't get to 100 no's. It's like it's an impossible task, or at least it feels that way, because if you are talking to people, you are offering Avon, people are going to keep taking it. And Alice, I loved how you worded that. It's not like, oh, would you like to take a brochure? Even though even that people say yes. It was like, here, this is for you. You give it to them and they're going to take it. So I loved how you just have very subtle ways, and it's very, very, I know why you're such a success. So let's put it that way. Alice already talked about this. If you watch the A-list, this travel bag is huge, okay? Janine showed it. It's not small. And at first, you might be thinking, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to be one of the top 2,000. The thing of it is that if you have that plan, you take the advice that Alice shared tonight, and you come up with your plan of who you're going to talk to, about makeup products. You're going to take her advice and order some of the products and try them yourself, talk to them, do before and afters. Look, you are going to be able to grow your makeup sales and by golly, be possibly one of the top 2,000 in the company and earn this incentive. So don't rule yourself out. It was a big mistake I used to make in my business, thinking that, oh, there's no way it could be me. It can be you. So I want you guys to go for this. Look at the makeup category. What products are you excited about? What are you wanting to share with your customers? And build that plan. Cancun. She gave you all this information about how you're going to grow your business, how you're going to grow your sales, how you're going to grow your customers. And look what can happen from that. You can land a trip to Cancun. Like I said, these trips, they're wonderful. They're memories. Getting to spend time with Alice, that was amazing. Her husband, my husband, were at the pool, and they're sitting there chit-chatting too. And as I said, I feel like I've known Alice a really long time, and it's just because we're both passionate about a lot of the same things, and it was just an instant, connection with us. But on this Cancun, has anybody on this call gone to the resort and checked it out? And if you haven't, that's like a top thing to do. I want you to go to that resort. They have like a little play there, so you can play. And I want you to feel, I want you to see yourself in Cancun with that tropical drink of your choice. And who are you going to take with you? Are you going to take your husband? Are you going to take your daughter? Are you going to take your BFF? Who are you going to take with you? And today they shared, Michael and Shannon shared all this information on how to break down this incentive and get there. All week long, they're having all of this training. So if you're wanting to build the sales between Alice's advice and all the information you're going to be getting all this week, you're going to be unstoppable. And oh, I just love that about, things that you're not comfortable in, do them in the way you explain that, Alice, just unbelievable. We have the charmed incentive. Don't forget that. It's just a kind thing for us to be offering Avon the opportunity first. And if it is something that individuals can't prejudge, like Alice said, we have to just offer it. And if somebody's interested, then we can tell them more. If they're not, they can always be our customer, be a helper, refer other people to us. You gotta be in this in order to be enter the sweepstakes. So upload an image or video of you with the FMG Glimmer cream eyeliner, add the hashtag, tag Avon Insider, and then scan the QR code. Look at these prizes that you could win. We got to be in it to win it. So don't exclude yourself there. And then look, I was just telling you about all this training this week. Cancun is calling. How to get there through personal sales, how to get there through team sales. Tell It Tuesday tomorrow with Erica. New representatives, if you're a new representative, there's this training here. Into the live shopping. Are you already talking to your customers? We have another electronic device to share with our customers. We blew it out of the water with the headphones, with the earbuds. Look, we now have this speaker. Are you already telling your customers, oh my gosh, you gotta tune into this live shopping because we have this speaker? So we just have to let people know what we have. And to Alice's point, when she was talking about like during the pandemic, people weren't sharing Avon. People don't even know if Avon's around now. People haven't seen a brochure. They don't know who to get it from. They'd order it if they had somebody to order it from. That is you. You have to let your customers know that you are the Avon representative for your area, and the sales are going to come, and the success, and it's time. You need to also, if you haven't registered for the convention, register now. I think they were down to like 500 for the in-person convention. If you're able to go, I'd love to meet all of you there. If you can't go in person, you can do the virtual, but make sure you register. The convention is, they invest so much in that for us. So make sure you invest in that as well. Save the date. Our next team chat is June 6th. We have another guest speaker, and you will love learning from this person as well. So mark your date, and that's our next team chat. Again, I want everybody to please, number one, pat yourself on the back for coming here. Everybody lives a busy life, so you invested in your business and the time to be here. And also, help me give a round of applause. Alice, you were just amazing tonight. So thank you very, very much. Everybody can unmute. Did anybody have questions for Alice or anything that you wanted to add or say?
I just had one question.
Okay.
Sure.
You were talking about the classifieds and the marketplaces. How do you find out about those?
I think there are community sites. So like the marketplace in my area would be different than the marketplace in your area. So I think you can probably just Google the city marketplace, something like that. And in terms of the classifieds, I mean, there are so many different groups for classified ads or neighborhood, I don't even know what it's called, neighborhood watch or something like that. So I would say just Google it in your area and see what comes up, because those are indicative to each area, but they have them all over. I just haven't been a part of them. But I hear people say that they're pretty, they like being on them. And then again, also do your, I really encourage you to, if you have a special interest, find some groups that you can join with that interest. First of all, you'll be interested in that, but you'll have an opportunity at some point to talk about Avon.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions? I was so busy talking, I didn't read any of the questions or the comments that you had in the link, so I apologize.
Well, everybody.
I had to do more than one thing.
Well, Alice, I mean, everyone was saying how helpful it was, great ideas throughout it. So everybody's been very, very appreciative of tonight. So thank you very much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Okay.
And Linda,
go ahead.
Can I just add one thing, Linda? So if you go to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com become Avon, I have in there, now Linda did send out the link for you, but I have in there just some different trainings that I've done, but myself and 3 other leaders in Hawaii were visiting one day, and the one gal said, I really want to do a video, but I'm too nervous. And I said, oh no, let's just do it together. Well, we ended up having 4 of us, but what we did was we talked about what were 3 things that we did specifically in our business to earn the trip to Hawaii. And so I really encourage you to watch that, because interestingly enough, a couple of our ideas overlapped, but how we approached it was differently. And so you're going to get 12 really good ideas that were effective for the 4 of us to have earned Hawaii. And if you want to earn Cancun, take the information that I shared with you. And the reason I put it in a slideshow is so that you didn't have to write it all down, that you have access to it. Because otherwise you're so busy writing, you don't listen, or at least that's been my experience. So I try to keep it really organized for you. And look over those again, because those are all things that work. Not every one of those is something that you're going to want to be comfortable with or want to do. But even if you only glean a couple of ideas of what I said, and I'm going to do those consistently every campaign, you're going to see an increase in sales, and you can earn the Cancun trip by doing those increased sales. And for the person that already made Premier, awesome to you. That's just great. Oh, you're on the right track, Carolyn. I couldn't remember who said it, but that's awesome. And
I've got
for
my
the rest
sights
of
set
you,
on President's Club now.
there you go. So you're setting your sights higher. And how do you get to President's Club? It's by working your business consistently. But what do you do consistently? You put it on that calendar. You plan what are the things you need to do, and then you do them.
Right.
I mean, every one of you can do it. And as Linda said, I really hope that you either come to a convention or attend virtually. It's not as much fun virtually. There is nothing like being in that group of reps when we're all being silly. But having those moments where you have coffee or dinner with your Avon friends. Linda and I really met for the first time in December, and she's right. I feel like we know each other really well, and it's because we already have our Avon business. So when we talk, we can talk about Avon and start right from where we're at. And of course, I watch her videos, so I feel like I know her anyway. But it's awesome, and I would love to meet each of you there. And so if you're thinking of going and you're thinking, oh, I don't know who I'd talk to, find me and Linda. We will let you join us. We would love to have you join us, and we just chat. We just have a good time.
Hi, Alice.
Thank you.
Would you mind posting a link to that YouTube video where you talked about the different ways you approached, what you were just talking about? If you could post a link on our Montavon Climbers page.
It's posted there already, Mary.
It is posted.
I had posted it in there just a couple of days ago about the one with Alice. So you should see it in there.
Okay, I must have missed that. Okay.
Yes, she did post it. So, yeah.
But I can even, when I send the replay out tomorrow, I can also include the link in the there as well, because I know Carolyn also asked for the YouTube link and I wasn't able to click on it, but I can send that out as well when I send out the replay.
Thank you.
The other thing is I do have an Avon blog. I don't keep it up. Well, I keep it up, but I don't write as much as I used to. But I have a section for product information, but I also have a section for if you sell Avon or if you want to be a leader with Avon. I've written articles to help you, to give you ideas that have worked for me. So if you are thinking that you would like some more information or from a different perspective, feel free to check that out too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys. I appreciate being able to join you.
Thank you, Alice, and thank you all for being here. I know it's late, so until next time, happy sharing Avon, showing Avon, and selling Avon. All right, everybody, take care. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good
Thank you,
night.
Alice.